Hey everybody, you could really help out the podcast by going to jmohr.com, clicking the Amazon link, and buying whatever you want. Tweet what you bought, and I will talk about it on the show. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you helping us out.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
I want to work with you a lot.
Oh yeah!
Here we are, Mohr Stories. We got a get. It's a get. It's Ken Marino. You're a get, dude. Yeah, you actually are. You're like a big guest to have.
Well, that's nice to hear. Thanks.
It's true. I mean, you got this great web series, Burning Love, which is super funny.
I'm proud of it.
You're changing the game.
Of webisodes?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not, like Louis C.K. putting out an entire special on I don't know how he did it on YouTube or people paid for it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like you and Ben Stiller's company and
yeah.
Like you got the band back together. Sort of. You're gonna have to close that. You sort of got the band back together. Some of them.
Of the state guys?
Some,
Yeah, we get. We always kind of hang out with each other on projects.
Natasha Leggero, Kristen Bell,
sure.
And then Ken Jeong, my buddy,
Adam
Dr.
Scott,
Ken.
Yeah, Dr. Ken. You got Abigail Spencer. You got Janet Varney. You got.
Yeah, I don't like Janet Varney.
What?
No, I don't. It was the next name out of the hopper.
Second.
It was just the ball that came up in the lotto with her name on it. It was the lottery of me being an insult person.
Are you an insult comedian?
No, never.
No,
I hate that. I hate that. And I have to tell them in the beginning of the show, like, hey, because I'll look down at the front row and they're like, no. And I have to tell them, like, if you have to pee, go pee. Like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what you do for a living.
Right.
Because you work harder than me.
Right.
It's almost verbatim. And I always go, and I know where you're from, here, whatever town it is. Because, for years, I've sat in my house and I've never had 400 people from Denver ring my doorbell, hand me a check, and say, go. So apparently I have to get on a plane, come here to see you, and then here we go. And if you got to go drop a deuce, do your thing. I don't care. But
do you break away from? But you're pretty loose in your stand-up.
Yeah, I've always said to people, well, and I'll say it to you, obviously. So it's like,
why not? I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm a fucking big boy, Anthony. Let him speak for himself. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
Say it. Am I funny to you?
Fucking, how do you do it? How? Those old switchboards from the 50s or 60s with the big wires, those operators that would connect. Yeah. Like, I know I got Walken, Tracy Morgan, and Norm Macdonald at the end of that, and a story about 3 different stories about taking LSD. Like, I got that last row.
Right.
So the rest of all those wires, tubes, and holes, I can just play.
Right.
For like 45, 50 minutes. And then I choose which two to get out.
But it's always. Is it a surprise to you where you wind up? What last?
I mean, there's only 4, so it's never a surprise. I mean, the end. I mean, the Eagles.
Yeah, but you don't
know,
say I'm going to end with the Tracy Morgan story. You say
no,
I'm going to end with one of those, and I don't know where I'm going.
I don't like ending with Walken because I feel like I've been doing it so long. I like to do sometimes I like to walk out and just start with Walken.
Sure.
Because then they can't yell, do Walken.
Get it out of the way.
It's like, are the Eagles surprised when they go to Hotel California?
Right.
Like, that's a hit. It comes at the end. It's just where do you put it?
Right.
I'm comparing myself to the Eagles.
You are very similar
Mostly
to the Eagles.
Joe Walsh.
You're very similar. I saw the Eagles at the Hollywood Bowl.
Horrible.
Not Joe Walsh.
Yeah, Joe Walsh.
Killed
the
it.
James Gang. That's what
Killed it.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Ken Marino keeps getting cooler and cooler. By the way,
the rest of them were fine.
You're the second guest out of, we're up in our 60s now, where my son has saw and instantly, Gary Goldman, great comedian, my son just saw and just instantly put his hands up like, that guy, pick me up. You walked in and my son just needed to be held by Ken Marino.
You know what the trick is? In the morning, I just kind of dip myself in breast milk.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a lotion, but it helps for being friendly with children as well.
Just walking around in breast milk. that's quite I think that's niche porn.
Yeah.
Like just guys being covered in breast milk. The lack. Oh yeah, my car just smells like milk. Not my wife's breast milk, but like milk. Because I'll just leave bottles in there and I forget. I'll be like, I'll get it later, and it just turns. But that's how they make cottage cheese.
Yeah.
But why in my truck does people get in and go, Jesus Christ?
It smells like
what
sour
happened
milk
in here?
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to AJ Bake,
the best.
Andy Baker on Twitter came out to me at a corporate gig the other night and said, "Bro, I bought a lawnmower using the Amazon link at jmohr.com. So here it is. At jmohr at Mohr Stories, I got my lawnmower through jmohr.com using the Amazon link. Grass cutting plus Mohr Stories equals hell yes. So there, I'm done with the laptop. Now we can talk about Ken Marino and how much he loves karaoke.
I do like karaoke.
I saw you on a talk show singing Macy Gray.
I did. I went on Conan and I sang. It was kind of the first real talk show that I've done. It was the first time I've ever done a talk show like that. I mean, about 13 years ago, I did a little, I don't know what you call it, junket when I was on Men Behaving Badly. But it was like, the Terry Bradshaw morning show. He gave me a signed football. And one of the Wayans brothers had a talk show, and I went on those. But like other than that, Conan was like, so I was very nervous, and they did the pre-interview, and I said, well, I can sing Macy Gray, and they're like, yeah, okay, well come
was
in.
It Frank Smiley?
I think so.
And all he says is, it's good. What else?
Yeah.
You're on the phone with this guy for 2 days.
What else?
And you go out there for 4 minutes, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah. What else?
You were in my life for a long weekend, and I went out, and we went off the reservation, and I sang Macy Gray.
But, well, he said come in early and sing with the band, and he wanted to see what it was, because, he didn't know. And then I came in, and I sang it. I'm proud of my Macy Gray. And so when they heard it, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's in the show. Yeah, you could do that. He wasn't. I didn't realize that I was. I was being put through a little test to see if I could sing it on the show.
That is odd that a producer would be would think that maybe you'll come on and do it horribly, and you're so delusional that you think, no, I do a great Macy Gray. Because even if you do it horribly, it's great. It's Kaufman-esque in its bizarreness.
Right? He would have been like, it would have been super embarrassing.
And I get in trouble, like you did in your voice. It would have been hilarious.
Try to say goodbye, and I choke.
Dude, you have to do it now.
I can't do it without the music.
Really?
I mean, I can, but I don't want to.
Please.
You can go to YouTube and watch it.
All right. Well, but no, we got to promote one thing.
All right.
Because it's too good not to promote. I don't want people to get sidetracked. You got to go to yahoo.com/burninglove.
Just go to burninglove.com. That's the easiest way to get there.
Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead.
Mostly go to burninglove.com.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
You're taking The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and you're turning it on its ear. Your wife wrote it, right?
My wife wrote it.
Did she create it, or was it collaborative?
She wrote it. She came up with it. She came up with the idea. She actually wrote a short.
Were you her first choice?
Was I her first?
Did she make you read?
We went through an extensive audition process. You were offer only. And
I only read.
Yeah, you didn't. We were like, you have to come in and read, and you're offer only. So we didn't. I'm so sorry, but I was next in line, and I got it.
That's got to be a dream. All I want to do is just create stuff with my wife and get it up and running. Because we're best friends, and you and your wife seem to be your children are great. You're obviously a family guy.
I love my wife, and so I love the idea. I love that we are able to do this together, and it's been a fun project to do. But it was her, we watched reality shows. I mean,
me too, yeah.
And then she really got into these dating shows when she was pregnant with Riley. She was watching marathons. And
she just went mad.
She was just laying in bed. She's like, I don't want to get up. And
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Month 9, where she's like, when is it happening? And so she would just sit and kind of zone out and watch these. And then we started watching them a little bit more religiously. Excuse me. And then she wrote this short that Adam Scott and his wife are into the show, and they would come over and we watched a finale one year.
So you guys would actually have reality TV watching parties. Not parties, but two couples.
We had one.
That's a celebrity couple.
They came over, and then they came over dressed like in a suit and like dressed up like.
And for the Bachelor specifically,
and they presented us a rose.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I would do it with like Real Housewives of Jersey and be like, "Hey, man, Team Judas."
Yeah.
Or or Team whatever their name is.
I stopped watching the Real Housewives. I just don't like how they talk in front of their kids. It really upsets me. It really upsets me.
The chick in Atlanta, the white girl wears the wigs, Kim Zolciak, is like blowing smoke in her kids' faces.
It's really disturbing. It really turns me off.
So you're more like Bachelor, Bachelorette. Little Chocolatiers, I bet you really enjoy.
What I watch, actually, it's more like I don't know if you watch the Food Network, but like Sweet Genius.
Do I watch the Food Network?
Do I
watch the Barefoot
Chopped?
Contessa?
You watch Barefoot Chopped? You watch Chopped?
Look at that. You make a chicken and a man shows up. How bad could that be? Don't have too much fun without me.
Yeah,
she has
fabulous.
4 gay friends.
What's up with her husband? Like, where does
Jeffrey
he go?
with the poodle
Where
hair,
does Jeffrey
the Jufro?
Where does he go?
Jeffrey was like in Nixon's cabinet. He's like an actual DC power guy.
And so he's always going to DC? Is that where he's heading?
I think we put that in quotes. I'm not sure. I think maybe he's like at a dominatrix club getting his balls stepped on.
DC is
because she always like every Friday.
Derek Coleman.
Yeah. Derek Coleman comes in, writes a blank check, and goes, "Just fill it out later, whatever I owe you." And then the safe word is Chuck Daly. They just step on each other's balls. Somebody yells out Kenny Anderson. You're like, "Nope,
whatever gets you through the net."
Nope, that ain't it. Chuck Daly, and then they stop.
Mason,
I love that. Ina, the big thing is whenever she has to make Jeffrey chicken. Like when he comes home for the weekend, when he sees his wife the one day of the week, and then like she prepares the whole show is her making this chicken, super elaborate, and dill from her garden. And TR's coming by with fresh flowers. How bad could that be? TR, by the way, the hottest gay guy that's ever walked the planet. Like she has 4 gay friends. 3 of them do not look particularly well. They're either too fat or don't look particularly healthy.
Right.
And then TR is just like, bling, like he's beautiful and great. He comes by like, thanks, Ina. And
he's the gay from the other side of the tracks.
Yes, definitely. And then Jeffrey shows up and she acts surprised. Look at that. You make a chicken and a man shows up. I always said it's almost like she's the gimp. And they let her out of that leather suit and ball gag. And like, if you fuck this up, you're going right back in the box. And she's like, don't have too much fun without me. But she means it. Like, don't have too much fun. Because I'll be back in the box if you guys don't enjoy my flan. That's the sound of my nap. It used to be Law and Order. Now, Whenever I get a nap, it seems to be that amazingly soothing. I'm not kidding. The sound of her using that grinder, that and doom 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 doom, that music. So yes, Chopped.
You know what else is good? If you want a soothing cooking show, Jamie at Home, Jamie Oliver at Home. It's like hot. It's like a hot chocolate.
Yeah.
On a winter's day. It's just soothing, and he's
the new
awesome.
demographic that's unaccounted for these channels.
Yeah.
And that's I did a big pitch to Bravo, and they just shot me down like a fucking paratrooper over Normandy. I was like, I'm the guy. Like, I'm the jock that only watches this. Like, yeah, you got the Kathy Griffin stuff.
Right.
That's it. You're preaching to the choir, but this is a whole world here. Now, Ken Marino, Jay Mohr, together, here you go, Food Network. We're the new crew.
Sweet Genius? Sweet Genius?
Sweet Genius.
I'm a sweet genius. Are you?
I am a sweet genius. I love Nigella a lot.
I don't watch Nigella as much.
It's very soothing. She took a lot of shit from the British press because they said it was like porn because she would eat on camera and she's pretty, I think, basically. Because she would lick her lips with chocolate on them. But, I mean, Emerald at one time had that live show.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Doc Gibbs.
Right.
You can tell the quality of show by what instrument your band leader plays. Like, it really says a lot. Like Johnny was so cool. It was a fucking it was a trumpet player. Like, hey, let's go. Hey, there's Doc. And Doc would be like blowing out the tunes. And then Ed McMahon's got Paul Schaefer. It's late at night. It's a little wacky. It's keyboards. Conan's got fucking Max Weinberg. Like, there's your cool card. Emerald, black old bongo player.
Which I actually...
Doc Gibbs in a Doc Gibbs band.
It might have been my favorite part of the show, actually. I really did like when they kind of went out on, went to commercial on Doc Gibbs.
I've never heard anybody say anything but Emerald was like the hardest working, sweetest guy. They gave him a sitcom.
Yeah.
They tried hard. And they go, he tried. People that worked on the show would tell me, oh my God, no one ever tried so hard.
And you can tell.
He was like,
you can definitely
the
tell.
girl in the Little League team, like, she tries so hard. She runs so hard the first
I bet he
base.
sweat. I bet they had a lot of extra clothes for him.
Yeah, he sweats a lot.
I bet he sweat, especially when he's like trying to do a 4-camera in front of a live studio audience.
Hey,
show.
who let all these kids in here?
Bang!
So you didn't start on the stage. Where was your first comedy stuff that you did? Were you a stand-up?
No, I've never been a stand-up. Are you an insult comedian?
No, never.
No,
I hate that. I hate that. And I have to tell them in the beginning of the show, like, hey, because I'll look down at the front row and they're like, no. And I have to tell them, like, if you have to pee, go pee. Like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what you do for a living.
Right.
Because you work harder than me.
Right.
It's almost verbatim. And I always go, and I know where you're from, here, whatever town it is. Because, for years, I've sat some,
Yeah, we get, we always kind of hang out with each other on projects.
Natasha Leggero, Kristen Bell,
Sure.
and then Ken Jeong, my buddy,
Adam
Dr.
Scott.
Ken.
Yeah, Dr. Ken. You got Abigail Spencer. You got Janet Varney. You got.
Yeah, I don't like Janet Varney.
What?
No, I don't. It was the next name out of the hopper.
Second.
It was just the ball that came up in the lotto with her name on it. It was the lottery of me being an insult person. Hey, everybody, you could really help out the podcast by going to jmoore.com, clicking the Amazon link, and buying whatever you want. Tweet what you bought, and I will talk about it on the show. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you helping us out.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
I want to work with you a lot.
Oh yeah!
Web series Burning Love, which is super funny.
I'm proud of it.
You're changing the game.
Of webisodes?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not, like Louis C.K. putting out an entire special on, like, I don't know how he did it on YouTube or people paid for it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like you and Ben Stiller's company and
yeah,
like you got the band back together. It's sort of. You're gonna have to close that. You sort of got the band back together. Some of them
of the State Guys.
Here we are, Mohr Stories. We got a get. It's a get. It's Ken Marino. You're a get, dude. Yeah, you actually are. You're like a big guest to have.
Well, that's nice to hear. Thanks.
It's true. I mean, you got this great